Good morning, Raptor freaks. Alexi Odds here. Sunday morning, and the Raptors are hosting the Golden State Warriors today in a game at Scotiabank Arena. 6 o'clock start. Both teams have been on a losing streak. They've actually lost a few in a row themselves, just like we have. Let me just see how many they've lost again in a row. We've lost 4 in a row, obviously, and they have lost 3 in a row. So both teams are wanting to get rid of their streaks. In fact, Golden State has lost 5 out of their last 6 games. So they really are kind of struggling pretty bad right now. The one win they had in their last 6 games was over Boston Celtics. So that's pretty cool. All right, let's get right into it and let's look at the injuries. Our injuries are as follows. Precious will remain out for a few more weeks. Otto Porter, same thing. OG Anunoby is out right now also. So those guys are not available for today for sure. Now, Gary Trent Jr. is listed as day-to-day today. He's questionable, and it's his quadricep. Ron Harper Jr. is also out right now due to injury. So our injuries are Precious, Otto, OG, and Ron. And then Gary Trent Jr. is day to day and possibly out today. Now, Golden State has a pretty lengthy injury list also. And this may be part of the reason why both teams have been struggling. Andre Iguodala has been out for a while, guys. He's not going to be playing today. Steph Curry is already ruled out for today also. He has been rumored to be at the game, though, sitting on the bench. He is here in Canada and will be present at the game. It's just that he will not be playing in the game because he'll be sidelined for about a month. But, the prognosis on Steph Curry is pretty good, actually. It could be way worse. They got some good news, but he will be out about a month. And it'll be while we're seeing them here in town, unfortunately. Because I know a lot of people like to go see Steph Curry. It's just not happening the last couple of times they've come to Toronto. Andrew Wiggins also out, but he was seen shooting last night at the practice facility here in Toronto. But he is definitely ruled out today, but it looks like he's on his way to coming back eventually, but not today. Not today. And then the other two on their injury list are Draymond Green and Klay Thompson. Now, Draymond is likely to play today. He's on my fantasy team, so I really pay close attention to him. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, he didn't play on Friday. He's probably likely for sure to play today. Now, Klay, I'm not really totally sure what's going on with Klay Thompson. It could be a weird thing where he ends up sitting out today also, but he is day to day also, and he could actually play today. So Draymond and Klay are a possibility. No Wiggins, no Iguodala, and no Steph Curry for sure. So there's your injuries in a nutshell. Draymond's probably likely. I don't know if Klay's going to play or not. I'm not totally sure what's going to happen with that. Let's check in with the comment section. This morning on this Sunday. Monique is here first. Good morning, everyone. Let's crush the Warriors. Let's go Raptors. Yeah, let's crush the Warriors. Let's crush whoever's in front of us. We just got to try and continue to try. And, when a team is sliding and not playing very well, every single bit of almost getting close to winning or just damn winning is going to be helpful. So hopefully we'll see some stuff that'll help them with winning today against Golden State. Mike is here, Logical Raptors fanatic. Salute real ones, Project Truth always. Yeah, Mike, I watched the second part of your Thad thing last night. I had some time, so I ended up watching it last night. Good stuff once again. Very thorough and very detailed. Very detailed. Tom Duke saying, good day, sir. Good day, sir. Let's go, freaks. Yes, Tom Duke, you hold it down on the West Coast. Get those good vibes going today for us to beat the Golden State Warriors today. The reigning champions. That's right. If anything, there's a reason to get up for that. You may be losing to teams like Orlando that are up and coming, but they are killing everybody else too. And but you beat the defending champions of the NBA today. It can make things feel pretty good. So let's hopefully do that today, Raptors. Let's do it. Hot Take Jay is here. Let's see what his hot take is this morning. We're getting closer, just these unfortunate fourth quarters. In some ways, it's not even the fourth quarter. It's like the accumulation throughout the whole game is not right at some point in the game. It's like Scotty said in his interview. It's like we lost this game in the third quarter. And it really was that huge deficit that they gave up to the Nets on Friday night, like a 14-point deficit. They had the lead by 10, and then they ended up being down by 4 at the end of the third. That's no good. Once that started happening, that's where we lost the game. But the late game execution is the next thing that did us in. That's for sure. Not being able to execute at the end and get some points to keep ahead of them is a big part of it also. Monique's also saying clean up the third quarter woes. That's right, Monique. Hopefully that is what's going to happen for games going in the future now for the Raptors. I'd love to see that. Let's keep going with what we do on these previews, and we'll go right to the ref report right now. I've looked at the refs just now, and they're not good for us. And partly it is that it is Golden State, and they've had a very good record over the last couple of years. Part of it is also these are not refs that usually help us or have anything to do with helping the refs. Let's just helping the Raptors. Just put it that way. Our head ref tonight is Eric Lewis. We've seen Eric this year. In fact, all 3 of our refs today, the last games that they refereed, we lost. Just so you know that they are the very last time we've seen the appearance of any of these refs involved in our game, we lost the last game, whether it's whatever game these guys have been in. They're not all in the same game. So they're all coming from games where we lost. Now, Eric Lewis is from Daytona Beach, Florida. He went to Bethune-Cookman College. His favorite TV show is Martin. His favorite movie is Which Way Is Up. His hidden talent is drawing, and his favorite meal is lasagna. So have some lasagna on hold, Tom, just in case. And Eric Lewis is another ref who likes to work with several organizations that help troubled teens. So he is another mentor kind of ref that's out there helping the youth stay out of the mud. And his record with us is actually the best one out of the. Is he the best one out of the ref? No, he isn't. He's the second best. He is the best one. We have the best record under the crew chief, a 48% winning record. But the Warriors have a 56% winning record. So 48% us, 56% the Warriors winning under Eric Lewis. The second ref is Natalie Sago, the infamous Natalie Sago, Kyle Lowry's best friend. She's from Missouri, and she's in her 6th season as a ref. We do really have like a lesser experienced team today. Just I want to note that. For referees, Eric Lewis is the vet, and then the other 2 are both, younger refs. Like Sago is in her 6th season as a ref. Her favorite TV show is I Almost Got Away with It. Favorite movie is Hardball. Her favorite musician is Pink. Her favorite book is Legacy and the Queen. Her favorite app is Instagram. Her hidden talent is juggling. So she knows how to juggle. And her favorite meal is pizza. So we need some lasagna and some pizza today. And of course, she was a ref in the WNBA. She's also been a ref in the G League. And she has her bachelor's degree in K through 12 physical education from the University of Missouri. So she actually is a PE teacher. That is what her secondary job is. And then she has 2 mini Aussie doodles. Mini Aussie doodles. Those are dogs named Bogey and Divot. So there you go. There's some dog facts about Natalie Sago and the names of her dogs, Bogey and Divot. So she must like golf too, if she's naming her dogs that. But yeah, her record with us, we used to be right down the middle, 500, but we lost the last time we saw her. So we're at 46% winning percentage. And the Warriors are still at 500 with her. So she may be the most fair between the 2 teams with record-wise. The other 2 have much more of a difference between the records. So Sago is the second ref, and the last ref is Sayesh Mehta. We have seen Sayesh. He's in his 4th season. He lives in Miami, Florida, but he's from Baltimore. His favorite show is The Office. Slumdog Millionaire is his favorite movie. His favorite musician is Bob Seger. Like a rock, lost burning at the sea. Like a rock, I'm still at me. Favorite book, The Alchemist. His favorite meal is butter chicken with garlic naan. He'd like to visit South Africa and climb Mount Kilimanjaro. And his hidden talent is badminton. So he's not bad at badminton. His parents are from India and moved to the United States in the 1980s. His father is a retired physician who specialized in internal medicine And Mehta speaks Hindi and Punjabi fluently. So a couple of fun facts about Sayesh Mehta, our third ref, our least experienced ref tonight. His record with us, he's one of the worst refs for us statistically. He is in the bottom five refs for us statistically. We win 1/3 of the time, 33% winning percentage when he is a referee. And meanwhile, the Warriors are 60% win team when Mehta is present. So all three refs have better win percentages for the Warriors, which is understandable considering it's the Warriors and the way they've won. And we have two very young refs. And then we have Eric Lewis, who actually has helped out the Warriors more over time also. So there's your ref crew, not necessarily favoring us. But this is the thing. I've seen a trend recently where, sometimes the numbers get all fixed up by going the other direction, by the team that isn't favored by the statistics with the refs. Well, they want to make their ref statistics look as 50% as possible. Well, maybe we get the favor today just because all those refs can look a little bit better with our record and evening it out. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what happens with the referees. But there's your ref report for today. Let's see. Logical Raptors fanatic is saying we're having issues with holding a lead, and we need to start the second half like we've started the beginning of the game, fast and attacking. I like that strategy, Mike. And it makes sense. It surely does make sense. I think that part of the problem is, and especially with the Nets game recently, everybody's talking about how Claxton was such a huge factor in helping them win. And the Coloco may have done okay against him in the first quarter and not very much problems. But in the second half, Claxton very much was doing all kinds of crazy stuff all over the place. I'm still going to blame starting Coloco for a bad start, either in the beginning of the game or after the half. That it's just like he's getting picked apart, and I just don't like seeing them start like quarters and things like that. I know they're doing it for his confidence and stuff, and it's just part of the developing disadvantage we're gonna have to take is if Coloco is going to be playing a lot of minutes. So I think he's very much linked to these problems. I think that in some ways you can look at our roster and who plays on our team, and he is the biggest difference and newest guy on our team. And we can't just say, "Oh, Scotty's doing a new role and this stuff," because he's very good in a lot of ways, and we saw it last year, everything working together. But the more I think about it, I really do think starting Coloco and playing him minutes during the game at certain times is the part of the problem right now. And it's not that I don't want him to play Coloco. It's just that he needs to be really smart about when he plays him and when it's safe to play him. And I don't know if starting him or starting him at the third quarter is safe or smart to play him. I still think this guy needs to be like a role player off the bench for a very specific need that he's very good at right now. And that's rim protection and rim deterioration from people coming close to it. But we don't need that the whole entire game. In fact, I'd rather have that physical kind of low post, Ken Burch kind of defense than the kind of defense that he's going to offer, because the teams are killing us in the paint really up close. And I know this has a lot to do with Coloco getting so much burn so early in his career. All right, let me keep going with the comments. Tom Duke is getting the food out. Let's see if they deserve it first, Tom. We don't want to just DoorDash it down there because, we've had such problems with the refs. We think we want to feed them, but then they screw us over. He's got that butter chicken. He's got the pizza. He's got a chicken butter. Okay. Oh, no, that's supposed to be lasagna. I don't even know if they have lasagna in the thing. Tom, do you know? Because you know all about the emoticon language, and he's got the 5 Raptor lineup. I love it. Mike's saying, like, we need to be hitting first in the starts of both halves. And Natalie Sago gets the league with the Primo pasta cups. She ain't doing us any favors, laughing my fucking ass off. I don't know. Listen, I think she gets a bad rep with our fan nation, partly because she had such an acrimonious relationship with Kyle Lowry, the GOAT. And that we have so many vivid memories of her being unfair to Kyle that we just think that she's unfair to our team. But I don't think that's true. I've watched her very closely since the appearance of her issues with Kyle. Does she have a problem with us? And she doesn't. She very much has a problem with Kyle. So that problem is gone. So that's Miami's problem now. So I don't really think of her as I think of her as a pretty down the middle kind of ref. But we'll see. We'll see how the calls go tonight. I don't want to talk too glowingly about them. That's for sure. All right, Boston Sports is here to check in with us. Let's see what they're saying. How you doing, freaks? This Sunday morning, cheer up. Thanks, Boston. You're so charitable with your like good vibes. You want us to cheer up. Thank you. We'll see what happens today. Maybe we can do something against them. I know this season is a bummer. If you guys want to cheer for a dynasty right now, you always have a seat here with the Celtics. Oh, that's so generous and kind, Boston sports fan. That you think that I'm some sort of crazy ass turncoat. That it's like the first little slightest bit of adversity or difficulty, or oh, this is hard. Losing is hard is going to make me change and turn in my purple and red for some green and white. Woo, keep dreaming, Boston sports, because it'll be a very, 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 very cold day in hell. They're going to be letting all kinds of crazy things happen. Pigs will fly. There will be all kinds of like all really crazy things would have to happen. There maybe it has to be only like two teams in the NBA, and I don't know what the other team would be that make me want to root for them less than your team. At that point, I'd probably still pick the other team. If there's only two teams in the NBA and it's the Boston Celtics and it's any of the other 29 teams, not even my team, I will pick that other team against y'all. In fact, I put a bounty on y'all's team. I want one of the other Eastern Conference teams to eliminate y'all from playoff contention. I've told Sixers fan this. I've told Nets fan this weekend. I said, if any of y'all eliminate the Boston Celtics from the playoffs, I will wear their team's stuff on my channel. That's how much I hate y'all. So no, hold your breath and keep holding it, and you will blow up like a balloon because you ain't gonna never ever get my allegiance to the Boston Celtics. No, 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 no. That may be the last team. I will get behind Philadelphia 76ers before I will get behind Boston Celtics. I will get behind Brooklyn Nets. And I say fuck Brooklyn all day till I die. And right before I will get with the Boston Celtics. That may be very close. It may be Boston and then Brooklyn is next as far as like I don't want to root for them. But yeah, it's not going to happen, Boston sports. I love that you're here and I love that we can talk, but the respect is there. But I ain't never, ever going to be rooting for the Boston Celtics. You know, there was a very small period of time when I was young that I did. I was a big Larry Bird fan. When I was very little, I had a lot of friends around me that were very much into the Celtics. I was more of a Pistons guy at that time. And there was Pistons versus Celtics battles at that time with Isaiah Thomas and Bill Laimbeer and Larry Bird and Kevin McHale that were epic. But I always sided with the Pistons when those games happened. Now, when the Celtics played the Hawks, that was tough because I went to a Celtics Hawks game in like 1988 and I saw Reggie Lewis, Dennis Johnson, Stanko Vrankovic. You know, I saw all y'all's classic Celtics in person, Larry Bird, Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, and I saw them play the Hawks with Dominique Wilkins, Moses Malone, Spud Webb, Doc Rivers, and Kevin Willis on the other side. And I'll always remember that game at the Omni and seeing Larry Bird play in real life. So I was a big Larry Bird fan when I was a kid, but I didn't like the Celtics in general. You know, I did have some respect for them back then, but that was way before the Raptors existed. And ever since the Raptors have existed, well, there's no room for this anymore. And as I said, y'all would be the last team that I go and bandwagon to after this. That I stay with the Raptors no matter what. But yeah, keep holding your breath on that one. But that's so benevolent of you, so kind of you. You want to come and oh, thank you. That's so kind of you. All right, let's see. G saying, laugh out loud, Boston. No offense, but never. That's exactly how I am too, G. Oh yeah, never, 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 never. I never want to see y'all win another championship. Y'all can not win a championship ever again. That'd be fantastic. Let's give some charity. I'd like to see Sixers get another championship since 1983 first, or Brooklyn get their first one ever. But I want the West Coast team to win. We went over this recently. Shanky saying never Boston. Never. That's right. We will not do it. Even if things are dark for us, we won't do it. We'll still root for our team. We're not that much of turncoats. Like we have tenacity as Raptor fans. Some of these other Raptor fans are weak, wimpy and weak, and they'll go run away when things are bad, and they'll be like, I can't watch this team. They're so bad. You know, that's not us. We're gonna watch the bitter end of everything in this world. Like we are all about the Toronto Raptors, and we're gonna watch them whether they win or not. I mean, it's just how it is. Jimmy Pope saying, Boston, our championship team would sweep your team. Think you're nice coming in here while we're down. Jimmy, yeah, give him the business. I mean, honestly, it is kind of a charitable, very nice offer, and I don't want to be like mean to him for being kind, because he is definitely being kind. But yeah, you got my answer already. Logical Raptors fanatic saying, Grote stand loyalist always, but she will get the ragu sauce and prima pasta in cups. No Bowlway for her. I'll have my fucking ass off. I want to tell y'all right now, I went and got Bowlway yesterday, and it was fantastic. I know I may have sullied the name of Subway Bowlway recently with my silly ass real mascot matchup, but I actually went and got some Bowlway at Girard Square yesterday, and that Bowlway was good. Yeah, I had some Bowlway, and it was good Bowlway, and it gave me some energy. Although I'm tired, I didn't sleep totally well last night, but I'm a little crazy. I may be a little bit like Tom Duke yesterday, a little feral. Ah, yeah, so there you go. All right, Boston's got a reply. Let's see what else he's saying. That's a shame. You would make a good Celtic. I love that line. That's a shame. It's almost like mafioso. It's like Boston said, that's a shame. You'd make a good Celtic. Well, hey, the deal is on the table with no expiration date, so no rush for you and your comrades. All right, well, I appreciate that. Another little story about me and Boston fans is I used to be married to a woman whose father was a huge Boston Celtics fan. My father-in-law, he was a very prominent, important person in Florida politics when I was dating her and married to her. So yeah, it was interesting, the shit talk between myself and my father-in-law, who was a huge Celtics fan. And this was around when Wade and Shaq were together on the Miami Heat. So this is like late 2000s when we were talking a lot of trash. It was the Bosch time for us. Not a very good time, but I was telling him, you look out, we're coming. And eventually we did get that championship and make things good. But yeah, he got his championship with Garnett and Pierce around that time also. But yeah, we used to have a lot of good shit talk, Fredo and I. And, I really appreciate and respect him. Out of everybody in my ex's family, he's the one that I really respect and appreciate because he's the only one who's straight up with me with everything that's going on. So you go, Fredo, even though you're part of Celtics Nation, my former father-in-law, that when I was married. So there's another dynamic of it all. And like I said, all the kids that I played basketball with when I was a preteen and a teenager, like 13, 12, 13, 14, were all huge Celtics fans. And they all talked so much trash about the Celtics, and they were into the Celtics. And we played the game, Lakers versus Celtics, on our Sega Genesis. And it was a lot of fun those times. Lakers versus Bulls. I don't know if you guys remember those old, very early basketball video games on Sega Genesis. I used to play those games with my buddies around then. So there is a lot of Celtics woven into my experience in watching stuff. And I think I've also seen the Celtics play. No, that was the Magic. Never mind. It wasn't the Celtics. All right, let's keep going. Monique is saying, don't get a big lead so our main players can rest. And don't forget, we're on a back-to-back. That's right, Monique. This is something maybe we do need to think about, or maybe we just punt tomorrow. We really need to go for the game today because today may be the more winnable game. And Philadelphia in Philadelphia tomorrow, and they're kind of rolling more than Golden State is. That I don't know. I think we just need to go all out like Nick Nurse is always going to do. And even if we're so tired tomorrow and we can't win in Philly, at least we got to win because we need to get at least one win between these two games. So it's like almost let's just be desperate and forget about tomorrow. There's no tomorrow today, Monique. There's no tomorrow. We're playing like it's no tomorrow because in some ways there really isn't for the Raptors right now with the way they're playing this season. But yeah, that back-to-back is looming, and we can't let our guys have that in their back of their head and let that affect how they play tonight. That, we got to get right on a plane tonight and go straight to Philadelphia and play the Sixers tomorrow. Yeah. Jimmy Pope saying 2019 Warriors are better than the 2022 Warriors. That's for sure. I think that's pretty legit. I think that's pretty legit. You're talking about injuries too, though. I mean, in the finals, but I think that overall team was definitely better, and I think that team was better in some ways than their championship team last year. Also, Kevin Durant is a huge addition in person to have on your team at that time. Obviously, we just saw him on Friday. Let's see. Mike is also saying logical Raptors fanatic to Boston sports in a 300 voice. This is Toronto. Well, a lot Boston sports come up to Toronto and we can do the welcome Toronto for you with the black and gold Drake jerseys, the OVO owl, and we'll give you that welcome Toronto feeling. Come up here and come to a game, Boston versus Toronto sometime this season. I think there's one more still this season. And we can give you the welcome Toronto feeling. Just like Mike's saying here. All right, fun guys here. Good to see I'm a fun guy on a Sunday morning. Oh my God, please. We need this win tonight. Nothing matters but the win tonight. This is out real first. Win our first real winnable game in a while. Sacramento was a trap because they have the best offense in the league. I'm with Fun Guy on this. We need to get what we can get because we're losing what we can lose right now. And there's no guarantees on any of these to get W's. So we need to make sure we get this one tonight. Now, this game may be very similar to the Warriors game last year that I attended. It was a 50% capacity game because the holidays had got all fucked up with COVID. And Stevie Roots and I went, and we almost got thrown out because I was yelling too much with my mask down. And there was some lady who was tattling on me, saying that guy's mask is down too much. And the usher came and gave me a warning. And they were saying, you're going to, if we have to come back, we're going to throw you out. Well, they had literally gone to get the police to throw me out at last year's Golden State Warriors game. And I was smart. I knew what was going on. I saw what was happening. We went out the other exit. The police were coming out with the usher, and Stevie and I left, and we went downstairs and sat in the 100s. Yeah, yeah, and watched it down there. And I got even louder down there. And we won that game. Of course, that was the B team. That was the Golden State Warriors B team. Nobody traveled up here to play from their important players, and we beat them handily. But this is similar. This is going to be a similar kind of thing with no Steph Curry, no Andrew Wiggins. These are important players for their team. And if we see either of those other guys out, like Draymond or Clay, it'll really, really be like last year. So hopefully we can get, even if it's like not the full strength Warriors, a lesser Warriors team, because we're a Raptor team at this time right now. Without OG and Precious, we really are missing some stuff. So I really hope we can jump on them and see something very similar to the game that I attended last year in December, where we beat the Golden State Warriors in our own building because they were shorthanded. And hopefully, partly that'll happen tonight too. We so desperately need a game because things aren't just that fun, are they, Fun Guy? So we need more fun so you can have your name be more fun again. Random Gamers here. Sixers fan is in the house. Let's see what Sixers fan is saying. We got Celtics fan and Sixer fan in here. This is a regular Atlantic Division live stream. All right, let's see what Random Gamer's saying. Good to see you too, by the way. What's up, Raptors freak? It's been a while. I'm finally done with my first semester. Congratulations, man. I'm so ready for tomorrow. Hopefully you guys are healthy and not too tired. Yeah, all right, we'll have to see. That's right. We're going to come see you guys tomorrow. And congratulations on your first semester in university, Random Gamer. I remember you telling us about you moving into your dorm and getting ready for the semester at the beginning of the fall. And I forgot, this is part of the big reason why we haven't seen you frequenting this stream, is because you've got your nose in your books and you're trying to do as best as you can in your first semester at university. So congratulations to you, Random Gamer, on completing your first semester. There are many to come, and hopefully you will continue excellence all through all of them and just kick ass and get a good diploma with honors. I believe in you, Random Gamer. And, tomorrow it's going to be what it's going to be. Joel Embiid has been a monster in the NBA this season with some monster games. And, there's things happening with your team that are very good, considering you guys have had injuries also and different guys missing at different times. You guys are still doing pretty well. So it'll be fun. I just want y'all to be nice to Pascal. I know that there's some people in your city that may want to try and attack him tomorrow. So John Attilia, please be very careful when the Raptors are in Philadelphia tomorrow. Watch out for these guys. If somebody comes at Pascal, you need to take him down like I know you can, because you look like a mafioso boss. But John Attilia will break your arm like this. He can probably just grab your arm and your arm's broken. So y'all come near Pascal, you're going to be dealing with John Attilia. That's the warning for a Philly fan who wants to get out of pocket because of playoff things last year. Listen, when we're down like this, does it really matter getting back at Pascal or any kind of way? I don't think so. So let's just play the game. Y'all are riding high and we're in a low spot. And it'll be interesting to see what happens in Philly tomorrow. Once again, we always seem to overachieve in bad situations. And this is definitely not going to be an easy game. It's going to be a trap game tomorrow. because we're going to be tired. We're already undermanned, and we're coming in against a juggernaut. The Sixers are playing very well. So let's see. Tom Duke saying, "Truth, fun guy. We are getting closer and closer. Today is the day it all just clicks right into focus and just starts working the right way for the Raptors again." I hope you're right, Tom. Really do hope you're right. I don't know, Nick. Figure it out, man, and get it going on the court. We need it so badly. I really do think two of the things are you're playing Coloca the wrong times, and that we need a designated point guard, a guy that's actually out there actively thinking about getting assists all the time. And we don't have anybody that's doing that exactly right now. We need somebody that is very much assist oriented and trying to set everybody up and get different guys on our team going, because there's too much stagnation. We got Freddie and Scotty the last two games killing it, scoring like crazy, getting half our points. Meanwhile, all these other guys are dormant like volcanoes. They need to erupt. So y'all need to set them up. Give them the ball where they like to get it and get them going, because we cannot do it with just two guys. This is the problem right now. We're not getting enough contributions across the board. So we need a point guard mentality as somebody that's going to go out there to seek assists and make them happen, because assists mean other guys are getting involved. And that's what we want today. We want other guys other than just two of the main Raptors to just take over and try and carry the whole team while the rest of them don't do anything else. Nah, dog. We need at least 3 or 4 guys flirting with 20 points and a whole bunch of them in double digits. I'd like to have like 6 or 7, 8 guys on our team in double digits tonight, Raptors. That'll mean there's more balance. That'll mean that y'all are looking for each other. That'll mean that you're not giving the cold shoulder to anybody on the offense, and they're all getting involved and getting shots. Because that's when we play the best, is when everybody's feasting. And it's not just a two-headed monster that we're throwing at them. So let's get the assists up, and let's get somebody with a point guard mentality running these things. Freddie, revert back to it. You're the most capable out of all these guys. You know, you've shown some amazing scoring off of the three-point line, instead down low, throwing them up, getting the free throw line, shooting, making the mid-range. Now, let's show another side of your game. And you don't even need to score a whole lot tonight. Just look for the other dudes and get everybody set up and get like 10 to 15 assists. You have been in the league leaders of assists in certain years of your career, Fred. You can still do this. Don't take the slight of this summer and Scotty's a point guard thing and I heard you're a shooting guard from Drake's song. Don't take this the way that it had to be the gospel no matter what. Can you please get back to a point guard mentality in some ways and just try and set some dudes up? Because I really do feel like that's a huge thing that we're missing right now. Yeah, Boston is saying Sixers and Raptors fans are here. I know this is a weird place. Like, this is very much like demilitarized DMZ. It's a demilitarized zone where we can have all kinds of forces that are enemies come in and be diplomatic and speak in adult, mature ways. And I really do appreciate that about my channel. And I know that Nets fan will be here also sometime. Starscream was here in the last couple days since they beat us on Friday, and he checks in from time to time. So the Atlantic Division is very well represented on this channel. And I think that we just need a Knicks fan, but they're too embarrassed. They won't come here. The Knicks fan is too embarrassed. But yeah, I appreciate that we have regulars like Random Gamer, Starscream, and Boston Sports. You know, there's 2 of you Celtics guys that come here. Surfer Die is the other one. And Skater Dylan. That's who it is. Skater Dylan and Boston Sports are the Boston fans who come in here. And then we got like Starscream from Nets Nation. And then we got Random Gamer and Blue City and a couple of other Sixer fans that come in here also. So we have a few fans of other Atlantic Division teams. But I love that we can have the discourse and talk about it all in a fair adult way instead of just degenerating to insults and threats of violence. All right, let's keep going. I'm a fun guy saying Embiid is the only guy who could step to Pascal in a fight. Pascal may be slim, but he's got that natural African strength. Laugh out loud. Doesn't display it in the game, but I highly believe he would in a fight. You know, Pascal is deceivingly strong. Just like OG's super, super strong. I don't know. I don't want to think about them actually having a fight or anything like that. I don't even want the kind of like build that kind of like energy with the Sixers and the Raptors. There was a lot of that kind of energy in the playoffs last year, and that's kind of for that time. But during the season, we don't want these guys knocking each other in the orbital bone or anything like, or flying their arms around. Where Joel Embiid needs to be, we need to be saying timber because he's falling over and he may fall on a teammate and twist their ankle. We don't want any of that. We want it to be very like just clean basketball, no extracurriculars, no fighting. No fighting, please. Monique is saying, been a while since we lost 4 in a row. Feels weird. Let's get the monkey off our backs. Yes, Monique. I mean, I think it's been since Tampa. Tampa, we had a 4-game losing streak for sure, but we didn't have one last year. And that's, it is what it is. So we will have to see what happens. We need to get the win today. Jimmy Pope saying, it's all love at the end of the day. Got to love the banter. Yeah, and the shared love for the sport. This really was something that got us back on the same page with Sixers Nation this summer. After the series and different things that happened, Joel getting hurt, us getting eliminated, there was a lot of bad feelings. But instead of that, we really both representatives, us, the Raptor freaks, and the Sixers fans, we really embraced the shared love of the NBA and basketball and just enjoying watching the game and just being students of basketball that love the sport and seeing the innovations and just the fun of watching and having a team and rooting for it. That we can always find that common denominator as fans of our team, and the passion we have for our team is very much shared if it is for different teams. But that is something that can bond us still. And really, the exercise of doing all that is really because in this world today, there are forces out there that really very much want to keep us all divided for their own gain and their own exploitation. That if they keep us all divided, when we're unified, we're a problem for them. And that's part of why I like to practice that in sports, is because it can be a good example for politics and other things that they kind of try to put lines in between groups. And that if we can do this, Sports Nation, like if we can get along with Celtics Nation, we can get along with Nets Nation and Sixers Nation. Well, you know what? Political parties need to be getting together and getting along better too. It's kind of like an example, or just the practicing and working out the whole kind of phenomena of it in society. Because in some ways, we really need to be more united and not divided. And sports is fun and games. And it's fun and games. But when it gets right down to it, a Celtics fan, a Nets fan, a Sixers fan, and a Raptor fan, in humanity's sake and different issues, we will unite and fight for that on a common front together. And that's an important thing to keep in mind. That there's a lot of people out there that want to divide us up and make us hate each other. You got to figure out why and what's their motive and why, and then not do it. Don't take the bait. But we can have friendly competition and have a good time and enjoy competing as teams. And, that's what's important. All right, let's see. Naco the Nacho's here. My good friend, Naco the Nacho. Really a weird guy. I'm not going to lie. I've seen weird things happen around Naco and done weird things hanging out with Naco because he's a longtime friend of mine. And I didn't realize it until recently. It's kind of weird. Naco the Nacho is saying, Pascal would throw a fake punch and Bede would jump up and try to fall down while flailing his arms. And G thinks that's hilarious. So does Fun Guy. I don't know. We could map this whole matchup out like a wrestling match. We could block it all out, and I could tell you how it could go. Maybe, I don't know. Let's see. Fun Guy's saying, I got a feeling today's going to be a good Raptors day. Yeah, I won't even say the word you said. All right, baby. Let's go. Yes, please, 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 please. We don't want to be a 5-game loser after today. We want the Warriors to be a 4-game loser after today. 4-game losing streak for them, and let's get rid of our losing streak. Boston Sports saying, wow, I didn't even know that. So this could be a 5 straight losses tonight. Man, oh, man. I know, man. It's been real rough. It's been real rough. I mean, we had some good things going at the beginning of the season, Boston fan. We had it, and we were rolling. The Rico Hines runs were successful, and we were doing really good things, but then the injuries really got messed up. Once Pascal got hurt in the Dallas Mavericks game, everything started to go downhill since then. And it was really the whole month of November, we were weathering the storm, but the injuries kept coming. Otto Porter, Fred Sick, Gary Trent Jr., OG Anunoby, Precious, all these guys are getting hurt all the time. And we had like sometimes we were missing like 4 or 5 of our rotation players for a lot of these games in the last month. And it's just been real tough. It's been really hard. The game we played against y'all recently, the only game we played against the Celtics this year was close and we were undermanned. And I was very happy with our effort in that game against the Celtics, considering what we were dealing with. But it's been really hard year. And this is how it is in the NBA. You know, you have good years of luck with injury, and sometimes you don't. And we're not having it this year. And it completely derailed our ability to be up there with you guys, you and Milwaukee, because we wanted to be up there, and we could have possibly been up there if we'd had more luck with our injuries. So in a lot of ways, it's like, what can we do? Do we try and do what we did last year? Because we were in a similar place that we were at last year at this time in the season, and try and just overcome it all and just be badasses. Because last year in January, after the beginning part of the season, we had the same record as the Celtics for the second half of the season. Y'all won a lot going out in this in the early part of this year, last year. 2022, January to April, Celtics and Raptors won at a good clip. And it was very, very close to being the same clip percentage wise. So, yeah, it is. It's tough. We don't want to lose 5 in a row. No, we don't. And if the Warriors are a little weakened, I know y'all just saw them recently and they beat y'all. You're actually the only team they've beaten in the last 6 games they played, which is crazy. Now we got Sixers fan chiming in. Let's see what he's saying. Laugh my ass off. That was actually funny, Nako. He probably would. Embiid is the greatest actor of all time, hands down. He's a weird kind of actor. I don't know. In some ways, I think he's like a stunt man. Not, I wouldn't say he's an actor because the acting isn't that good. We can tell. We can see through it, Joel. It's more like he's a stunt man. He's just ready to fall, and people need to be ready. Maybe he's a wrestler. He could be a wrestler. I don't know. Logical Raptors fanatic saying 4-game losing streak hurts less in the beginning of the season versus when you face the Wizards. Roadmap playing out. We will see if the turn can happen and make the next jump, how the team went last time. I hope so. I really hope so. That listen, this is true. We're gonna have this kind of stuff. It's better when we're trying to figure things out in the middle of the season, not while we built things up all year, and then at the end of the year we're falling apart right before the playoffs. Hopefully, we can figure things out and get going and get some sort of team effort going. You know, teams like Boston and Philadelphia have the luxury of really trying to figure out their roles and get things building on top of things. You build some stuff on the structure. You got to have the foundation first. But when things are going good, then you can fine tune things and really like discover what kind of role players, who is what on the team. And that's where they are in their year this year. It's like they've established things. Mazzulla is a good coach. They're doing a lot of the things similar to last year, except they're building on top of it with the Celtics. And the Sixers too. They both have a luxury of being able to build up to get ready for the playoffs this year. And right now, we're just trying to get a foundation, and that's a difference in where you are in the season. And it's tough. It's tough. We just got to get a foundation to try and win again. So, all right, let's keep going. Jimmy Pope saying, my mentality will never waver. Long season. There you go. There you go. And I love that you spelled it the way like the waiver wire, because that's very basketball oriented. He's not going to waver his feelings about the Raptors because they're losing, y'all. So just get out of here with your offers to come to Boston Celtics Nation, because our mentalities will never waver and be on the wire afterwards. No, it won't. G saying Boston, 2 of these losses were from Orlando, whom beat you guys too. They are pesky. Yeah, they know this. They know this. And listen, we need to realize the Magic may become a playoff team very quickly, that they are on their way up like a cork in water. And they are going to be like hanging around, because Franz Wagner did some crazy ass turnaround shot, and they're very dangerous with their crazy ass height with Bobo and Mo Bamba. And then Banchero is very much an interesting first pick of the draft this year, and he's doing certain things already that's crazy. Fun guy saying, I won't lie, Lex, but I was doubtful about your praise of Orlando actually being good and turning it around. And man, oh man, you were right. That's crazy. Next year they may be in the mix. Fuck. Well, that's the crazy thing about all these young developing teams. They're going to sprout and flower at some point. Detroit's another one. They're just delayed because Cade's hurt for this season. This I was predicting Detroit to do what Orlando's doing this year. But with Cade Cunningham out, it's not going to be Detroit, and they're not. He's not playing for the whole rest of the season. So Detroit really is in the Wemby sweepstakes. But yeah, I saw the way they were doing things. I was like, this is going to translate against anybody in the league. Trust me. What they did to us will translate against most teams in this league. I don't know how you deal with Bobo and Mobamba on the court at the same time. The rebounds are just not going to be able to be get. They are going to get them rebounds. And that's coming from Raptor Freak that is very proud of being one of the best rebounding teams in the league normally, the Raptors. Well, they're having a hard time rebounding around Bobo and Mobamba. Those dudes are just a little bit taller, and having two of them out there like that, it makes it even harder. And I know that that's what a lot of teams are going to find when they see Orlando coming up. And I appreciate, you were a little doubtful of me. That's fine. That's fine. You know what? I could have been wrong. They could have gone right back to losing after they played us. But in some ways, okay, I got to trust my gut, my instinct of what I see is once again panned out. So Boston saying that's why I always look at the glass half full. Here I am, so upset about being on a one-game losing streak as a Celtics fan. You guys are talking six. No, we're not talking 6-game losing streak. Shut up. We can take it one game at a time. Now you're just really. I feel like you're being benevolent, but you're also getting in your shots. Boston sports. Well, that's the whole important thing about being a Raptor Freak and the Raptor Freak cult is that we're very glass half full and not half empty. We do have that kind of positive spin and mentality about what's going on with us and stuff like that. So, yeah, okay. Monique saying, feel confident about tonight. I hope so, too. I feel pretty good, too. Well, we just got to see them go and do it. Really, really need to see it do it. It's been dark days in Toronto, literally, in the city. The winter has been cold and dark. And sometimes I look out my window to see what the tower looks like, and I don't see it in the middle of the night because it's so dark out. Maybe they're not even turning it on. Things are so dark in the city. The CN Tower is not lit at night. I don't understand what's going on with that. But anyway, maybe it's just that it's so bad weather. I can't see it through my window because there's fog or something. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I can't see the tower though at night. It's weird. Usually it's all lit up and I can see it right out my window. Haven't been able to see it the last couple nights. I don't know if that has anything to do with anything, but anyway, let's see. Jimmy Pope saying, wasn't Boston 2020 last year and went on a huge run? Could happen to any team. That's why I always have pride. Yeah, the Celtics had a rough first half of the season too last year. That's why they didn't. That's the difference between this year and last year is that they're off and running. And they're going all season so far this way. Well, it could flip-flop. And they could have a very hard second half of the season for different reasons. We'll have to see how things go. And maybe that we're getting our hard half of the season out of the way now. But there's no guarantees. This could be the same way a whole season for both teams, the way it's already been. But we don't know. We're going to just have to see. Nako the Nacho saying the Warriors without Steph are bad. Okay, good. Good scouting report. And thank you, Nako. Yeah, I mean, listen, I looked at what they've done recently, and I saw they lost 5 of their last 6 games. And I'm basically like, you know what? We need to just beat them. I'm not even going to dig into it too deep. If they don't have Steph Curry, that's great because that's somebody that we don't have to worry about. And I think we do have a good chance today. They've already been struggling. Their record's similar to ours. And when you take a couple of their best players off their team, they have a really hard time winning. It may be easier for us to win without Precious and Gary and Otto than it is for them without Steph, Andrew Wiggins, and Andre Iguodala. So the players that are out for them are huge for them. And I really, really do hope you're right, Nako, that we can beat them because they're very bad without Steph Curry. Logical Raptors fanatic saying the center position has been hurt hard and we're trying to push through at the moment. Precious is a huge part of playing center for us. And yeah, that has been hurting us for sure. I don't know. We just got to, I don't want to make any more excuses. So we just need to go out there and win. And I'm sick of this. I'm sick of losing. I just want to beat the Warriors today. It'll feel real good if you can beat the defending NBA champions, even if they're not totally the same team as they were when they won the championship. And it's too bad Otto's not playing. It would have been fun to see Otto Porter play against his old team. I'm a fun guy saying I feel that logical. Look, I loved Koloko coming in and advocated for him playing as much as he is. now, but I've wavered. He's wavered. He's on the wire. He needs G League time to some extent. He's actually hurting us. Yeah, yeah, he is definitely hurting us. But it's like, where's the balance? What is it that you value, Nick? Do you want the fast track, the development with the short term like disappointment and mess ups and hurting us, or does it not matter to you? You just want him to get out there and get as much reps and just get going as much as possible, and it doesn't matter, that stuff's going to happen either way. And you might as well get it out of the way quicker and go right into it head first. I don't know. I can see the logic in both ways. Now, I don't think he's going to go to 905. And there's really interesting. All right, there's a new open gym this weekend that we didn't talk about yesterday that I probably should have. It's called Jeff and Ron. And it's an open gym episode on Jeff Doughton Jr. and Ron Harper Jr. and their friendship that they made this year since they both became two-way players for the Raptors. They talk about riding to the games together. Jeff Doughton riding in the car with Ron Harper, making fun of all the different brands of water that he has in his car. Why do you have this? You have so many brands of water. And Ron's just like, shut up, Jeff. It doesn't matter. I've got water or whatever. He's like, why do you have so many brands of water in your car? And it's really fun to hear their bond and the way they interact with each other. And it's just fun. But in that episode of Open Gym, I learned things about the G League that are just different. They really paint the picture of what the difference is between the G League and playing in the big league. There's no kind of pampering. There's no pregame food. The court is cold. The places they play are weird. The crowds are smaller. There's all kinds of things about it. And when I was watching the episode, I was like, all right, I think I kind of understand why Nick is not sending certain people down there, because it isn't glamorous, it isn't fun, and it's not really necessarily somewhere people want to be. And Scotty not going down there last year, I can understand. Now, Coloco, maybe I'm starting to understand it too, just a little bit from that open gym episode, why they're not playing him down there. But in some ways, I do really think he'd help 905, and it would be very good for him. And that he just needs to go through a little bit of hard knocks and have a little bit of like grounding with like the 905 experience is not easy. That's another thing about it. It's very much hard work, and you have to do more effort as a pro to put in good effort on that level, because there's not all the creature comforts of the main roster has, like as far as trainers and everything and all this kind of stuff going on around them. It's very different in that way. So yeah, I don't know. Coloco on 905, I don't think it's going to happen. If it would have happened already this season, if it's going to happen. Now, if it happens, it's probably going to be just because it's a one-time go down there. Maybe because he needs to come back from injury or something like that. Hopefully not, because he's the only guy who hasn't been injured. But that's usually the only reason why he would go back. And we saw Delano go down there for a one-game stint this season. So he did actually go back down to 905 and play just one game for them. And they won that game, by the way. But it's interesting. 905 is going through a shuffle right now. We just traded players. We just signed a bunch of new players. In fact, we got Sterling Brown yesterday. So the 905 roster is going to look completely different for this Vegas Showcase Cup week that's coming up right now. They're going to play 2 games in Vegas, even though they're not technically in the tournament to win the Showcase Cup and the $100,000. They will play 2 games no matter what there against 2 opponents. And then we'll see these new Raptors 905 players. We have like 4 new players coming in. There's a lot of new guys coming in because there's a lot of moves made in the last 2 days for the Raptors 905. So we'll have to check that out, Monique, see what these new 905 players are like. And I don't know if you know stuff about them or you have done any research about the new names we got, because we got like 4 new names on Raptors 905. It may be good for you to drop some knowledge on us about these new Raptors 905 players and what their positions are and what kind of like what they're into, where they came from, and if they're any good. So, all right, let's see. Monique's saying, did anyone see OG on the 2K23 cover? That's not him, right? Laugh out loud. So funny. We go get it, boys. 420 pick up. So pumped. There you go. That's a nice time to get picked up, Monique, and get down the arena. It is an earlier start at 6:00. So I can understand you got to get down there earlier to get there. All right. I'm glad you brought this up, Monique. And it is something that I've meant to talk about on this stream for the last week or so. This crazy ass NBA 2K23 video game cover with OG with this crazy smile. Like he's like, yeah, he's like, yeah, or something like that. I think what happened was that they meant to put that facial expression on Scotty, and he's on the end because that looks like something like Scotty would do, like that big smile face that OG's got, because that does not look like OG. And I'm like, the guy was like maybe looking at the design. He's like, well, why is the really smiley guy on the end? You should put the smiley guy in the middle for more balance in the graphic. I'm just making it up. Well, I think this happened. This is my line of thinking. And it's like, okay, we'll switch it to the guy in the middle, but it doesn't fit him. It fits Scotty. If you had put that face on Scotty, it would have looked better and it would have looked right. But they did that. And in some ways, I think this is a way they're trolling Raptors Nation, because they all know OG ain't like that with this crazy ass expression of like, "Wah!" That's not that's not OG. That's why it's funny. And that maybe they know that the person that made it that way, and they were trying to troll us and make OG a happy, smiley, weird like face. But that is a really weird graphic. And yeah, it's very striking to see OG's face like that in between in the four Raptors in that picture. It's very striking and weird. And I'm glad you brought it up. Seriously, Moni, because I did want to note the very weird OG smile on the video game cover right now. And I don't know. In some ways, it's not that it makes me mad. It's just kind of like, what the fuck is OG? Like, what is that? You know what I'm talking about. Y'all saw it too. And I'll bet you when you saw it, you had the same reaction as me. Like, what the fuck is OG doing? Like, what is that? Oh my gosh. All right, let's see. Logical Raptors fanatic. Precious, Scotty, Spicy, OG was that center position last year, and in the playoffs it was Precious, and Birch had the torn ligament up into finding out. Just beware, the season is rehabbing and play. Okay. All right, Mike. Once again, form a sentence, man. All right, let's see. Yeah, I mean, the center position's always been kind of committee. I have always wanted to just say Kem is our center and just start him at center, because he is a legitimate center. And he just, when we start the team that we started last year, Scotty was our default defensive center. And I hated that at times, but it worked. That was the weird thing. It just worked. But in some ways, like Cam, I've just always thought of him as being our starting center. Now, Koloko will be our starting center eventually, but I don't think he's ready. And that's the problem. I'm a fun guy saying it looks like stamina and endurance actually caught up with Pascal from injury time off. I think he breaks through it, hopefully. Yeah. Yeah. And plus, his workload is a lot harder with OG out. His workload is a lot harder with Precious out. So in some ways, he's having to do a lot more and work harder on the defensive end than he has to, like, normally when other guys are around. So that's part of it. And you know what? It is what it is. And he's just got to keep going. He's, as he said last year, he can't afford to be tired. So don't get tired now, Pascal. Keep going. Tom Duke saying, Mo, I thought the same. All the others are all stone faced. I know, it's such a weird video game cover, Tom. Like, when have we ever seen OG in a picture with his face like that? I mean, other than like maybe he's smiling like at a camera or something. Never, like, it's never a very open mouth smile. Have we ever seen that? No, it's always like, I don't know what's going on with that cover. It's crazy. Callie's here. Good morning, Raptor Freak Callie Mayer. Good to see you. Tuned in late. Is OG playing today? Fingers crossed for a badly needed win. All right, I'll go over the injuries again real quick just for Callie, and then we'll do the real mascot matchup. The injuries are as follows, Callie. Gary Trent Jr. is listed as questionable today. Ron Harper, Precious Achua, Otto Porter, and OG Anunoby are all ruled out for today. So that is what it is. So no OG today, unfortunately. I'm sorry. And it doesn't sound like we're getting him back soon. In fact, the hip news has not been good in the last day or so. We were going to hopefully hear tomorrow that when the timeline was going to be, but we heard a little earlier, and now we're hearing it's going to be a couple weeks. So I don't know if we're going to get OG back. It may be very similar to Precious and Otto. He's on the same timeline, and it may not be until the new year we get OG back also. I know you hate hearing that, and it's just really tough, but that's what I'm hearing. On the other side of the ball, Steph Curry will not play today. Draymond Green is probable. Day-to-day and questionable is Klay Thompson. And Andre Iguodala is out, and Andrew Wiggins is out also. So they don't have Steph Curry, Andrew Wiggins, or Andre Iguodala. They probably will have Draymond Green, and they may not have Klay Thompson. So there's the injury report for the Warriors. Monique is saying Jerry Stackhouse and Vanderbilt are doing terrible. I hear. Does Jerry want to come back home, you think, Lex? Well, if he's doing terrible as a coach, I don't know if we want him. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. If Jerry Stackhouse was going to be a coach in our team, he would have still be here. And there's a weird reason, like why he was the one I thought they were going to hire after Sam Mitchell, not Sam Mitchell, Dwayne Casey. When they fired Dwayne Casey, I was like, oh, they're going to hire Jerry Stackhouse from 905 and put him as our head coach. Well, no, it was Nick Nurse, and it was the right move. But at that time, that was who my favorite was to become the next Raptors head coach was Jerry Stackhouse. But listen, if he's having failure in the college level, we don't listen. You want winners. That's why we got Trevor Gleason. That's why we had Sergio Scarleone. That's why we get these kind of people as assistant coaches and coaches for our team. And if Jerry Stackhouse is not doing well in Vanderbilt, we don't want to go get him. And it may be like if he was going to be an NBA coach, he would have already gotten on a team already. There's something there. Now I know Jerry when he was a player was very fiery and he would fight his teammates in practice. He's a very hard-edged guy. And then like if I'm sure he's that way with players, like he could be a real asshole, maybe like very hard on them. So maybe that's part of the reason why too. But I don't know. I've no stories specifically from Detroit Pistons practice because a friend of mine's cousin played for the Pistons at that time, Mikey Moore. Mikey Moore was a forward center who played in this league back in the day. And he was on a team with Jerry Stackhouse and Derek Coleman and a couple other guys when they were on the Pistons. Well, Mikey told my friend Jay a story about Jerry Stackhouse punching people out in the middle of practice. So yeah, he's something else. But I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't think it's likely, and especially if he's not doing well at Vanderbilt. Logical Raptors fanatic saying we're starting the third stringer guy at the moment, and when Precious and Birch are good, and Kanono can get like the same amount of G League as Banton, 6 games and jack up his point touches to work the kinks out. Okay. You're talking about Wancho, the third stringer guy. Yeah, we were having to start guys deeper in the bench, and it hurts our bench production overall, for sure. That's for sure. And I don't know, Kanono. I don't know if Coloco's going to get down to 905. I just don't see it. Maybe just one game, I could see it. Fun guy saying, laughing out loud. OG has never in his life done a face like that. 2K cover, laugh my ass off. I know. I mean, he has. I'm sure he has, but it's just not a normal face, and it looks so out of place and weird. It looks so weird. It's like, yeah, yeah. The OG face. Evelyn's here. Happy to see Raptor Freak Granny Evelyn out in the West Coast, just dropping by to say hello. I hope you're enjoying sunny California, and don't come back to Toronto too soon. Trust me, you don't want it, the weather here. No, you don't. It was very cold last night. No, you don't. All right, let's do the real mascot matchup. Bam, 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 bam. Well, things are really bad in the real mascot matchup. If you guys have not realized yet, this room really coincides with our problems. And the Raptor just wants to get out of this room, this torture room that Nurse Annette put him in. Well, the last time we saw them, she was going to give him a bath. Yeah, a sponge bath, because he smelled. His reptile skin was all stank from eating a lot of Bowlway and sweating a lot in the sauna room. And he smelled gross. And she's like, you smell, so I'm going to wash you. Well, they're washing, and the Raptor thinks he can make a move and try and break out. So he tries to do this little move with his tail. He does a little swing, like to try and trip her up to fall her over. Well, he did the little swing, and it kind of worked, but she jumped up real quick. And then she got really like crazy. Like she's weird. She's like a Nurse Ratchet, but she's also kind of like a Swedish masseuse, very strong and very like powerful hands and arms. And she basically like started wrestling him because he's trying to get away and like get out of her hands and get to the door. And they had a real full-on wrestling match. And the unfortunate thing is a raptor is a real like humanoid raptor, and he doesn't do the hulking up thing like he did last season where he could turn into a velociraptor. And it's really too bad because it would have came in real handy in this instance. He doesn't get upset like Bill Bixby and turn green and his clothes start ripping apart. Nothing like that this year. So he has to actually really fight her. And you know what? Nurse Annette is very strong. She's very strong. And she actually does like manage to kick his ass. Yeah, and it's deflating. It's really bad because he loses. He loses. He almost beat her to get to the door, but he loses right at the end of the fight. and she straps him right back into the bed. And it's just like Misery with Kathy Bates. He's like, "Oh, you tried to get away, didn't you?" So she know what she does? She goes and gets those pieces of wood. Yeah, you know that part of Misery I'm talking about. And she gets a bat. And she's like, "Yeah, we're gonna have to make it so you can't run away." Holy shit, Nurse Annette. She really fucked him up, and she did fuck his legs up. Like, holy crap. Now the Raptors got 2 broken legs, and he's stuck in this room. It's like getting worse and worse for him right now. He just has to get the fuck out of this room. Can he find the warrior spirit in him to fight his way out of this room? Finally, I don't know how it's going to happen. I'll make up some bullshit next time on the Real Mascot matchup. There you go. There you go. I don't know. She did that Misery shit to his legs. She went bam, bam. And oh my gosh, it's horrible. It's horrible. So bad. Monique's saying, sent your latest trivia to Mo Pete. He says, thanks. Seriously? You wait, Monique, you sent the trivia stream we did last week for Morris, and he saw it and he said, thank you. Wow, Monique, thanks for putting me on blast and letting these guys know we're doing some share the love for these players, former players and Raptor players. That's fantastic. I love that, Monique. Awesome. Well, I hope that he actually watched it. And who knows? Maybe the Raptor Freaks got some new people coming because Mo Pete saw him in the trivia last Tuesday. Fantastic. I love that. It's so fun to do those trivias. And it really is a lot of fun to learn more about different former players. Like, did you know it costs $98 on Memo to get Morris Peterson to give you a personalized message on that service? No, you can go there. Memo today. Get Morris Peterson to say a Merry Christmas to your mom or something like that. You can do that. He's available on there. I'll put a little plug for him in here. So yeah, get a memo from Morris Peterson. $98. That's a real good, fantastic number to get a personalized greeting from him to a loved one or just to yourself. If you don't have anybody who cares, you get it for yourself. Why not? That's awesome, Monique, and I appreciate that. And Morris and I have the same birthday. We're both August 26th, 1970s. Yeah, he's 2 years younger than me. Awesome. All right, let's see. Mike is saying Konono is the third string center. It's supposed to be Precious, then Birch, then Konono. But with the first 2 injured, Nick has to play someone there and soak center minutes. So it's development, KO's defense. I don't think Kem's hurt, though. That's bullshit. Kem is not hurt. That's not the problem here. Kem could be playing. It's Nick does not play him because he'd rather play Thad or Konono. All right. Tom Duke saying mascot matchup is so much of a drama, kind of like Scooby-Doo crossed with a Stephen King story. I think you're right. I think those are the 2 things that I amalgamated to make the real mascot matchup this year is Scooby-Doo and a Stephen King story, literally Misery. I am totally ripping off Misery this year and a little bit of a Scotty Barnes Bowlway commercial. But yeah, I think that Tom's figuring it out. It's just so silly. You know, every season I'm going to change the motif and the feel of it. And it's just, this is a gritty, like Ozark Breaking Bad world that the Raptor is in this time. It's not a fantastical anime fight world. It's really more like very much like a AMC drama TV show like Breaking Bad is what's going on. This is the Breaking Bad year of the real mascot matchup. And that's why it's kind of like this. And Tom Duke, yeah, I think this is fantastic. Thank you, Monique, for sending it to Morris and him checking it out. Who knows? Maybe they watched it and they saw a crazy ass Raptor freak up here doing trivia and talking Raptors up here. All right, I guess I've gotten through most everything for today on this preview for this Golden State Warriors game today at 6 o'clock. Tom Duke misses the Electro Raptor. Yeah, Electro Raptor could have sorted out Nurse Annette real quick. I think you're right, Tom Duke. Yeah, that's too easy, though. Those battles will come again. We'll do a fantastical season next year. It's just I want to try something, a new challenge with the real mascot matchup this year. All right, so once again, I'll go over them one more time. Third time's the charm. Gary Trent Jr., day-to-day and questionable for tonight with his quadricep. Ron Harper Jr. is out. Precious Achua is out. Otto Porter is out. OG Anunoby is out. On the other side, we got Andre Iguodala is out. Steph Curry is out. Andrew Wiggins is out. Draymond Green is probable and likely to play. Klay Thompson is day-to-day and questionable. All right, our referees today are Eric Lewis He is a 20-year ref out of Florida, and we lost the last time he refereed, and he favors the Warriors, y'all. Natalie Sago is our middle ref. She's in her 6th season. She favors the Warriors, y'all, and we lost our last game when she ref. And our 3rd ref is Sayesh Mehta. 4th season as a ref. We lost our last game when he ref, and he also favors the Warriors. So there you go. The refs statistically favor the Warriors, but that makes sense because they've won a lot in the recent years. And then also, injuries are injuries. They are going to be what they're going to be. Monique's saying, I'm here to help, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Monique, you help, and you're just awesome in all kinds of ways. I know you have big stuff on the horizon. She's always got something in the back burner coming up, and she won't tell us because it's going to be big. I know it always is. And then all of a sudden, boom, we're going to see something with Monique with the Raptors or something going on all of a sudden. It's going to be fantastic because I know she said something about some bigs on its way. And I can't wait to see what the next big thing in Monique and what she's doing is coming out. I know it's going to be awesome. Logical Raptors fanatic saying, Lex, Birch is rehabbing a repaired knee ligament still and having issues with his other knee from compensating for the torn ligament for a long time. Birch said as much in his post-game interviews. Okay, well, I'm just going by the recent game where he played like 18 minutes and he looked fine. That he could run up and down, and he looked like he wasn't having any problems. It could very well be that Nick played him heavy, and then he was like, I can't do that to him because of his injuries. All right, Mike. I mean, I'm not totally aware of that. I know that he's not been totally 100% since he's been a Raptor. But also at the same time, I'm like, the dude sits so much, and the knee has been healing so much. What the fuck? Get him out there. I don't care. Like, play the hell out of him. Do something. I don't know. But yeah, anyway. All right. I guess that we'll wrap it up, y'all. Today, keys to the win. Obviously, if they're going to have any kind of 3-point shooting, we want to stop it. The Warriors are really a team that runs off of their 3-pointers to a degree. Now, if we can dominate the boards today, that'd be fantastic. We have not won the rebounding battle very much recently, and this is a lot of the reason why we've been losing. So we can recommit to really dominating the rebounds today. This could be a huge key to winning over the Warriors today. Obviously, if we can outshoot them at the 3-point line, that'll really help because that has been another thing that's really, really hurt us recently. All the other stuff is important. Making your free throws, not turning the ball over, being smart and playing clean basketball is what y'all have been doing a lot recently. The turnovers have been very low, and you've been doing a good job with this. Continue to do that. Don't do this weird thing where you get good rebounds and 3-point shots all of a sudden, but you do completely shitty at the other aspects of the game today, Raptors. We really, really do need to take this seriously in this way. That Nick has said in interviews in the recent past that our players need to look at one-on-one matchups against their adversary, their counterpart on the other team. And think about them beating that person. You got to outplay that other person on the other team. It's like Fred on Friday. He's got to think, I got to outplay Kyrie. And then you have to be the better player overall in the game as far as scoring more and just playing better quality basketball. That they need to start thinking this way. That whoever they're lining up across from, you need to look at your stats at the end of the night and see if you beat them. Because we're not beating other teams in that kind of way. We have to win some of the matchups. So we got to do that tonight with a lesser Warriors team. Hopefully we can win the matchups, win the rebounds, win the 3-point shooting on the game. If we shoot better than the Warriors, then we have a good chance to win. So those are key stats right there. It's the field goal percentage of us and them and who shot better. So check that out. All right, y'all. Thanks for joining me on a Sunday for another stream preview for the Warriors today at 6 o'clock. I really do appreciate y'all spending time on an early Sunday morning when y'all could be sleeping in, especially when we're on a losing slide. And also thank you to fans of other nations coming in here and participating in our chat also. Your presence and your contributions are always respected and appreciated for the most part, because most of the time you guys aren't sticking it in or kicking us while we're down. And I appreciate that. A little bit of digs today, Boston Sports, but you can get away with it. You're number one, you're top dog, and you can get away with it. That's right. All right, y'all. First, please subscribe if you enjoyed the preview today and you found it informative to get you ready for the game today. And share, like, comment, all that kind of stuff. And let's go